Councilwoman Chris Welch. Our Mayor of Kennesaw, the Honorable Mark Matthews. I do that on purpose specifically because Dr. Welch and Mr. Matthews are not seeking re-election. And on behalf of the Kennesaw Business Association and all the citizens of Kennesaw, we thank you for your service, for your love, and your passion for this city. We appreciate you a great deal. We expect going forward that you will not disappear from the public eye, that we will continue to reap the benefits of your love and passion for our city, and please give them a round of applause. For a moment, in our lovely local city politics, I would like to remind us of something. Teddy Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, how man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. To all of our candidates here tonight, to those that have served, thank you on behalf of all of us for being in the arena. We appreciate it. I'd like to take just a moment. We have one candidate who is no longer with us, who put himself in the arena and was taken out. I would ask for a moment of silence for Junior Grumbine, because we appreciate what he was going to try and do. Our original moderator, for the record, was Mr. Joe Kirby of the Marietta Daily Journal. For those of you that have been in this area for a long time, you know Joe, you've read his stuff for many, many, many years. Joe recently could not be with us. He was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. So on behalf of all of us who have known him, appreciate what he has done for the MPJ in Marietta and Cobb County, I would ask you to keep him and his family in your prayers as he struggles with a very sad situation. However, we are very fortunate. This night we have an excellent moderator, Mr. Ross Cabot. For any length of time, Cabot has served with WSC for 22 years. Anytime there is an event in Cobb County, you will see Ross in the graduate industry longer. Just going to make. I don't know. We're going to let that go. Ross is a native of Marietta, Georgia. He is married to his beautiful wife, Madge, has 3 children, 2 children.
But 2 dogs.
And 2 dogs. My apologies. She may have something to tell you when you get home. I don't know.
Can't take anymore.
Again, on behalf of the Kennesaw Business Association, all our candidates, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Cabot.
22 years in local TV is like 60 real years that everybody else is used to. I quit doing weather about 10, 12 years ago, so I'm not responsible for what's going on outside tonight. But I appreciate everybody here braving that weather to come here to learn about the candidates. And I think for me, what's interesting is that we're going to be seeing a lot of fresh and new faces in the city. Often when I do these, it's kind of, you hear the same stuff over and over again, but I think tonight we're going to hear a lot of different stuff, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also going to need help with questions. You folks know Kennesaw better than I do. I live just up the road, but if you have questions, we're going to have cards available around, and you can scrawl out your questions in pseudo-readable writing, and I'll be glad to take those up there and pass them on to our city council candidates up here, so please help me out with that. We have a lot of interesting topics and questions already submitted to talk about, so hopefully we'll do pretty good, and we want to kind of get out of here, I think, by 7:15, so we'll do our best to do that. Just to, yeah. Well, we got the mayoral candidates. They had a random drawing to figure out which order they're going to sit in up here. These are our council candidates. So what we're going to start off with is give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to y'all, and with about a approximately 90-second opening statement, if we can keep it that way. We got the timer here and some goons ready to come in if we have to get physical with y'all. Let's start with our lone incumbent up here, Tim Killingsworth. Start us off, Mr. Killingsworth, with your 90-second introduction.
Thank you, Ross. Are we on? Can you hear me now?
This is not counting against your time.
Thanks, Alex. 1, 2, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi, my name is Tim Killingsworth. I am your city council member for Post 2. Most of you in this room know me. Most of you know that I try to be a man of integrity, a man of faith. Phone and call. 90 seconds is going to be a long time, Ross. But I will tell you that reach out to everybody the way that I would want to be reached out to. And I'm easy to find, easy to talk to, I like to think. I'm one of those people that would try and do, as my wife would say, family. Well, I don't like to think that I do that. I like to try and take care of my family. God has given me a wife and 2 lovely daughters. One is in Powder Springs and works for a legal firm in Marietta. The other one is a senior at the University. And most of you know that I am a die-hard Alabama fan. I'm sorry, Buddy Enlow, for what happened to Tennessee this past weekend. But I will tell you that I am easy to talk to, and I hope and trust that you will allow me to continue to serve you for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Yvette Daniel, and I want to represent you for Kennesaw City Council Post 2. What I bring to Kennesaw is diversity through education, background, and through job experience. I have been working in Kennesaw for the last 4 years. My leadership skills are, I like to say, unrelentless. I have just recently doubled the PTA membership at one of our local schools, Big Shanty, and that provided us with the Visionary Award. That is my unrelentless and undoubtable proof to you that I can create community engagement and get people to respond. The other thing, that aspect of my life that gives me a wealth of knowledge is being a mother. I am a mother to 4 children, and with that, their schools. I want to see our local government reach out and have a shared vision with our school system, and that is something that is very important because that impacts the level of education and people wanting to come here to Kennesaw, and our property values, which is very important to the citizens. I want to also tackle the everyday problems that citizens face, and not always and only the political policies and procedures things. Let's get that housekeeping done, and let's get on to the business of Kennesaw and what makes us great.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Creason. I've been retired last October from the military after 32 total years. Served on the KDA for 4.5 years, chairman as 1. That's how I got interested in the workings of Kennesaw, of the government, how things are going, how things could go. A wife, 3 kids. wife a teacher, Bullitt Elementary School. Just looking forward to being able to that I've learned in military leadership skills and apply them to the city of Kennesaw. Thank you.
My name is John Whitmer. I have been a resident of Kennesaw for just coming up on 9 years. When we got here, my wife made me get involved in the community. We started by coming to most of the council meetings. We got involved in committees. I actually got involved also in Rotary. I'm a member and past president of the local Rotary Club. I'm was a member of the morphed into Keep Kennesaw Beautiful. I've been there for 7 years. I'm also a member of Keep Cobb Beautiful. I'm a registered engineer in the state of Georgia and Florida for over 40 years, graduate of Auburn University. I'm CERT trained, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team. Was a consultant, business owner, and office manager for most of my career. I actually came from West Palm Beach, family there, and then we came on. Because I love being involved in the community, as you can see from my activities. I bring a unique experience and ability to work with the community.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Eaton. 48 years ago, I met and married the love of my life, the strongest woman I've ever known, and it's been quite a trip, honey. It really has. We live here. We work here. We play here. We've raised our children here. Our children are now raising our grandchildren here. And I am hoping that they will find that this city of Kennesaw is where they want to raise their children. In Kennesaw. This is where I am. I plan to die here. I've got 20-plus years of experience working in Kennesaw with things like the KDDA, Kennesaw Business Association. Thank you for hosting this. The experience and contacts that I have developed over those 20 years have given me an extensive network to help with people that can help in making this city to become the shining star that we all know Kennesaw can be. Thank you.
Well, good evening. I want to thank Kennesaw Business Association for sponsoring this event. It's been a wonderful evening to start to share with major areas that I want to try to work with the council to facilitate. One of those is reducing our taxes. One of those is improving our communication, improving and maintaining our parks, and also supporting our police department. These are core areas of our community. And we say we love our community. Love isn't enough. We have to have the to the table. I have been on the council for 8 years and serving now Board of Trustees of the library. We're hoping to bring a new library to the city of Kennesaw. I would love to be able to represent you again on Council Post 4. My wife and I have been residents here for 25 years. We've raised our son here who graduated from Kennesaw Mountain High School, and we really love this city, but the best possible and getting the best possible representation for it. Thank you.
My name is Jimmy Dickens. I'm running for Post 4. Instead of telling you a whole lot about myself, and I'd rather tell you what I want to do. I don't know if many of you know this, but on Post 4, this position, if it will be sworn in November. So what I want to do, if you guys graciously elect me, I want to give up my salary for November and December. I want people who saw enough in me to vote me as city council. For November, I've been doing a food drive for the last 10 years to feed people for Thanksgiving. So I partnered up with Palmer this year, and if I'm elected, my month's salary for November will go towards Palmer food drive for Thanksgiving. For December, I partnered up with Mission for Life, and we want to give back to the kids in the community who don't have. Everybody don't have. I've been in this community for 10 years now, and I've heard the cries from the community. So I want to help those who are in need, not just because I'm a councilman, because I love Kennesaw. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good opening statements by everybody. I'm getting a kick of them using these flashcards here because you're kind of getting a taste of what I have to deal with every day. It's just kind of fun watching y'all deal with that. Going to have, and we want to limit your responses to about a minute if we could. He'll keep the time here, and if there's some questions to be asked between some of you, we'll get into that as well. But I want to start with the next question with Ms. Daniel. And I've got a lot of questions in here that kind of revolve around the character of the city of Kennesaw. I've done a ton of stories lately. I think we're coming out of a recession. A lot of people want to build, bring more homes and businesses and complexes to the city. Not very specific questions in here, but across the county, zoning has been a big issue that we've had to deal with lately. So I just want to kind of throw out a general question to you, Ms. Daniel. What is your idea? What would you tell voters, your idea of what the city of Kennesaw should look like, the character it should maintain as we go forward in this post-recession era?
My idea and vision of what Kennesaw should look like is maintaining our hometown feel. I am all for growth, but it needs to be smart growth. Our open spaces and preserve, the things that make Kennesaw what it is. We have to decide what we want to look like. Do we want to be a college town, or do we want to be, think we want to be a hometown?
Mr. Christian?
Thank you. Like Ms. Daniels, I too want to maintain the small town feel of Kennesaw, but Kennesaw has to grow, and that growth does not have to be just an explosion of apartment buildings or businesses without a plan. The city has a master plan, and we have a lot of communities that are in decline or not getting the attention they need to have. I would say we can go to those communities, invest in them, bring them back up to standard, and use and reuse existing businesses before we start building new business for the city. We need more businesses to bring in more funds to run the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitmer.
My experience throughout my professional career is working with mostly through Florida, as well as emerging communities that developers were developing. One that I worked with was about 7 square miles. Another one was about 14, 15 square miles. So I have been in the community building business, and so I bring that experience, and I think we need to really plan where we're going, have a lot of input from the community as to what everybody's thoughts are, and out of that effort, together with a vision for the city.
Mr. Eden.
About 20 years ago, we started something called the Madison Project. It was the vision that was put forth by the Kennesaw Downtown Development Authority to try and do something like what we've already got on Main Street now. The recession hit. We ended up then doing some things like the Trackside Grill, the what's now the wedding event that used to be Markle's Studio. We've been involved in helping this city grow and progress, and we are really, really excited, at least I'm really, really excited about the possibilities of what we've got to look for in the future. Thank you, Rose.
basically, we're working with the land use maps to help us create a feel for our town. But that's not enough. What we really need from our people, what are you looking for? One of the big things that keeps coming up is that, can we look like Ackworth? Well, we don't want to look like Ackworth. You want to look like Ackworth? It's down the street. Kennesaw is its own namesake. And I feel like that we can embrace some of the things from Kennesaw State, not all of it. We have to understand that Kennesaw is at our, Kennesaw State's right at our back door. You might want to keep in that, use the best benefits from our own community and getting the most of it. Thank you.
Mr. Dickens.
What I would like is the same thing that drew me here. Probably a lot of some of the things that make you want to stay here. I want to keep our schools safe. I want to support our police officers to keep our streets safe so I can sleep at night. I don't have to worry about my business being broken into, or my home being broken into, or my building on the things that we have. And yes, KSU is here. We need to use some of KSU, but we don't want it a college town by itself. We want to keep our streets safe, support the vision that the mayor and the citizens have, but most importantly, the thing that have drawn people here this far. Let's keep that hometown feel. Let's keep what we have so far that have drawn so many people to love Kennesaw.
Mr. Killingsworth.
I've heard, when I got on the council 8 years ago, that's what was our drive, to continue to be a hometown, a place to eat, sleep, raise your family, work here. And that's one of the things that we've tried to do over the past 8 years in a very failing economy, a bad economy. We had the pleasure of not laying off anybody, keeping the taxes to where you didn't get your taxes raised, but we still managed to get things done. One of the things that we've started looking at, one of the initiatives that we've started focusing on, is a passion of manager. He has a passion for taking care of our neighborhoods. And in several of our neighborhoods, he's talking with code enforcement, trying to raise the issues and move forward in our neighborhoods. With that said, traffic is a huge problem. One of the things that a lot of people come in and sit and talk about is our traffic. And we're going to do our very best to continue to work with Cobb County, with the Georgia Department of Transportation, and continue to help, well, I got buzzed. Continue to help moving forward in our traffic.
I didn't even know we had the bell. That's
the first
cool.
one that got buzzed.
Nice.
David Pearson. He
I like
got the
that.
bell.
I have several questions in here that have to do with the separation between religion and state, and a couple of questions about the mosque. That was a very contentious issue for a while in the city, starting with Mr. Creason. Do you have any opinions about how the city of Kennesaw handles that separation, and what would your letting the mosque move in down where it did several months ago?
My opinion on that would be no religious organization should be in any retail strip. It is retail for a reason. There are too many businesses in the city of Kennesaw for those religious organizations to go to. You know, we have a Kennesaw Development Authority. Know all the businesses that are available, the buildings, where they are, what might fit better if approached by a religious organization. You know, ask the question, and they can find out what they need to know to put you in the right place. But a retail shopping center, to me, is not it.
Mr. Widmer?
This is a very sticky situation, obviously, a question. It's one of our fundamental rights, freedom of religion, and so we would need to progress very carefully. I agree that if there is a route to decide where it should be and where it shouldn't be, it should be through the zoning codes.
Mr. Eaton?
While I was out knocking on doors, I had this question asked of me. And I said, well, you know, we've got a Constitution. And the First Amendment to that Constitution guarantees us the right of assembly and religion. In 1963, I joined Uncle Sam's Army. And I signed a pledge to uphold that Constitution of the United States. And I will continue to do so. The The sad part about it was, as I understood everything that happened, we ended up granting the mosque their location. Because if we didn't, you all would have been paying several millions of dollars in a lawsuit, and we would have built the mosque for them. Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins.
Well, personally, as a born-again believer, I understand the importance of religion and a place of worship. But that said, we also have to look at the zoning codes. We have to understand where things are put on a map, on a land use map. Speak of that earlier. There are certain areas where we drew lines and said, this is part of a community, this is part of an area, of a neighborhood. And in this particular case, where the council was voting to keep a zoning code, it was considered GC, general commercial, it was important to understand what could be allowed worse or better in that particular area. It's very difficult when you're making these decisions, and I personally would not have placed that particular mosque in that particular shopping center, mainly because the conflict of retail and the timing. When you're comparing the two of that particular area and a previous mission on that, when another shopping center was allowed to place a religious facility in it, we had a conflict in that. Thank you. Sorry.
And now to you, Mr. Dickens.
I echo the same thing. I believe that anyone should have the right to work in whatever form that you believe in your religion, but I believe that it should be done not inside of a retail shopping center. I know how it affects businesses around it. I know how it affects people that are coming to, they want to look at shoes. They don't want to go to a place where a church is at. So I think it should be in a freestanding place. If I had a chance to vote as a councilman, I would have voted not to put inside of a retail shopping center.
Mr. Killingsworth.
I happen to be in those meetings. I'll try and be fast, David. I will tell you this. Our Congress, in their infinite wisdom, passed a law a few years ago. It's called our LUPA. And our LUPA does not allow for anybody to discriminate against any religious entity. So when someone applies, regardless of the zoning, you have to give that religious entity the same zoning rights as if they are properly zoned for that entity. So in the mosque case, we wound up looking at a religious entity that had to be zoned as if you have to talk to the Congress. We didn't have any choice. And when we had the opportunity to have some stipulations in place, we didn't go with it. We absolutely did not go with it. They offered stipulations. We didn't go with it. So we wound up having to do exactly what we had to do. And Doc is correct. Doc is correct. We would have had to be sued, and we probably would have lost that just due to the fact there is a law in place by Congress. It's a federal law.
Ms. Daniel.
I believe that when laws are in place, it is our duty to uphold them. I cannot Monday night quarterback what happened on a Sunday night game. So I will say this. We need to be inclusive of everyone. And it will better serve the public and the residents to be open. That's what I challenge you all to do. Look at a different perspective. Be open. And first, seek to listen and understand and not always be understood.
Okay, thank you. Next question I'll start with, I think we're at Mr. Whitmer now, and it's a topic that comes up everywhere I go, and it's come up in the city of Kennesaw as well. Term limits, what do you think, for or against?
I believe nationwide term limits are a great idea. We don't need career politicians in Washington, D.C., and even in State House. But for when we get down into local community, I believe we're close enough to the electorate that the electorate can decide who they want to represent them. So I'm against them locally, but for them basically everywhere else.
This is a tough one, always is. When this country was formed, the Congress decided that there were going to be limits on the time that people could serve. And they didn't decide limits. What they decided was, we need gentlemen and gentle ladies to go to Washington, do a 4-year term, and go back home and take care of the farm. That's on a national level. I don't think we really need to have, it's hard for me to say this. I don't think we need to have term limits here, now. But another side of me says, we do.
Mr.
Jimmy,
Jenkins?
about revolution, or you were back there at that time. That's what I thought at first. Seriously, I understand the couple of term limits. It limits the amount of time that a person can get in there and just stays in there. But there also is a good side. You know, I used to always think that term limits, why are you having a career politician? Why are you having someone keep coming back? But then again, there's always that experience. Look at sometimes at some particular people who served up north, and you ask yourself, you know, for instance, the Kennedys, if you ask yourself, if you wanted to build a bridge and you wanted to get that bridge done and pass through the local legislation, who would you get to do that? A person that doesn't have the experience that particular problem. Sometimes it actually helps, but there is that understanding that locally you have a better contact of being not electing that person again. Thank you.
Mr. Dickens?
I have no problem with, I prefer not to have a term limit. As a matter of fact, if I be elected, and if I try to be reelected, and if you don't elect me again, I go somewhere and do something else. So, as long as they still have a vote after the 4 years, where the person can be, that the community can choose whether or not they'll want this person to serve another 4 years, I don't have a problem with it. But if you take away the opportunity for the community to vote, and this person just get to stay and stay and stay, and he ain't did nothing or she ain't did nothing, then I'm against it. But as long as you have the opportunity to vote whether or not you still want this person to serve you as your councilman, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Mr. Killingsworth?
Like I talked about in my opening statement, I'm easy to get in touch with. At the local level, you could easily get in touch with your candidates or your... As a matter of fact, if you go on the website, you'll see our cell phone numbers are posted there. I probably should. Our cell phones are there. I had a young lady from KSU this past week texted me and asked me to do answer some questions for one of her papers. So we're easily accessible. My answer to that, obviously, kids have moved out, and I have more time to generate and focus on the city of Kennesaw. I want to continue to serve you. You, 2 years ago, had the ability to reach out and change who sits. So from a term limit perspective at the local level, I don't think it's even feasible. I don't think it needs. Obviously, we need to consider it. We need to obviously consider it at the national level. I'm sorry.
He's ringing his own bell now. We're getting out of control. Ms. Daniel?
As we have heard a lot of pros and cons with term limits, I will tell you that I am actually in support of term limits, and here is why. Sometimes you need some new blood. Sometimes you need an extra added perspective and a look on things, a fresh eye on things. If the people want to vote you in for a second term, great, awesome. But we do get politicians who are in here again and again. And look at the 37,000 residents we have with only a 1,500 turnout for voting. That says in a disengaged community. How can we engage and empower our community? That's what I'm looking for. Guess what? I work at schools, and people are happy to volunteer. They're happy to represent you. They don't get paid a dime. They're there when the teachers go in, and there when they leave in the afternoon. And I believe there are citizens in Kennesaw that are willing to give their time.
Mr. Creason?
I agree that there are politicians who stick around a lot farther and longer than they should have. We have term limits, and those are called elections. If you don't want that politician to do another term, you don't vote them back. If they like what they're doing, you approve of their way of thinking, and it aligns with yours, vote them back in for as long as that fits you. If not, pick the next best person and go with them. Thank you.
Okay, next question, we'll start with Mr. Eden, and I'm not going to have time to get through a lot of these individual questions. I'm going to try to bundle it up together. Questions in here people have about the museum running at a deficit, taking money from the sanitation department, various other concerns about the budget. Just what is your thoughts about where the city's going financially and what it is doing right and what it's doing wrong?
Let's talk for a second about the budget, but let's talk about how we get the money to run the budget. We get the money to run the budget by taxing you folks. We've had a 1.5 mil increase in the city taxes to support the Swift Cantrell Park. $500,000 of that was supposed to have been taken off almost 10 years ago, and it wasn't. We need to do something about what we're doing tax-wise. Getting businesses into the city and generating a tax base is going to be the way that we can bring along savings to you and give us the target ideas of being able to lower the millage rate. Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins?
Our tax base has gone to a point where we're for our tax base. We need to really work on that. One of the ways that I've been really advocating at switching us from what we call a bedroom community, meaning we're more residential and bringing more business in. We need to be able to business friendly. Businesses need to look at this as an opportunity zone, looking at us as an opportunity to come here and open their business, whether it be a type of retail or whether it be some type of commercial type of manufacturing. But we need to really work on the red tape and bring those businesses into our community, and it's going to help our tax base and residents are caring right now. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dickens on the budget.
Okay, first of all, I think what we need to do is have transparency with what the government, with the council and mayor are doing with the credit cards. Okay, let's make it. If you make a credit card transaction, put it online that very first day that you do it, and let's be able to, the citizen to be able to see it. The money that we do have, I think that we need to bring in businesses that are making. We can put in like a reserve. I think too many times we're wasting money that is not making any money for Kennesaw. We need to bring in businesses that are making money so we don't have to pull more taxes for the citizens.
One more. Oh, Mr. Killingsworth.
Our city has a budget. We've got an increase in revenue coming just from more businesses. The way the economy is turning around, we're generating more revenue from the businesses. We've got some new businesses coming in town. Food World, or Whole Foods, there you go. We've got some new places coming in town that will generate more revenue for you folks. Now, keep in mind, over the past 5 years, we've had a very, very evil economy. And we've been able to manage to save the jobs and things and not raise your taxes. Now, you talk about the tax increases that we have. We haven't raised any taxes. The only thing that went out to the tax trail was the SPLOST, and the voters put that in place. If we've got money, a 40-day fund balance that will take care of everything in case we get in trouble. And then we've still got the $9 million sitting in reserve. We hate to use the word reserve, I know. We hate to use the word there that in case the day gets really rainy. Go ahead, Dave.
I have a reputation for always ringing the bell at the station, so I kind of appreciate where you're coming from. Ms. Daniel on the budget?
The budget is a source of debate. But I do agree with Mr. Dinkins in saying that there should be transparency. There should be transparency in the spending. It should be regulated. questions I got in the community as I was knocking on doors about the allocation of funds to the museum and other places. It's a very known problem. We need to tell the taxpayers where their money is going. We also need to ask taxpayers, is that where they want their money to go as well? We can't just funnel it from one end to the next, but we also have to understand that the city manager has to do his job, and we will present what information needs to be brought back to the citizens. And that information will be everything, not what we do behind closed doors and hiding our money is going and to smartly spend your money, because it's not our personal piggy banks, it's your tax dollars.
Mr. Creason.
Thank you. Transparency, I think we can all agree, is paramount for citizens and how we're spending. More money in is to bring in more businesses. Benefits from the interstate and from the airport, but we don't have a lot of small businesses and office space in downtown, which could bring in more funds, bring in more revenue, and help build up our tax base, and which also eventually would help us build up our reserve, which is at zero. Thank you.
Mr. Whitmer.
Being last in line, I'm kind of thinking about the game we played in kindergarten when you started whispering in somebody's ear and you went down the road, and by the time you got to the end, you know, what is the question? But I'm going to freelance. We are in a position that our property values are starting to come up again, and that is money that the city receives without increasing millage, but it will increase taxes to all of us, which will give us more funds to be able to do things. But again, it's going to be more, don't kid yourself, it's more out of your pocket than it is now. We also need to worry about quality of life and environmental issues around town to make sure that we are a place that people want to.
Okay, I barely scratched the surface on all these, and we're running out of time. I want to try to get two in real quick. One, we'll start with Mr. Jenkins. Health and I got a couple of these questions, so I want to get it in. Health and pension benefits for the city council. What do you think?
Well, basically, the health insurance, and I was asked this question by the MDJ, the health insurance benefit, as it was placed out, basically my feelings were that if an elected official wanted to purchase it at the same fee that a full-time employee wanted to purchase it, I had no problem with that. They wanted to purchase it themselves. As far as a pension benefit, I thought it was personally silly. I think the pension is basically something they should take their own money. If they want to they're getting a salary, they should take their own money, use it, invest it however they want, perhaps a 401k, an IRA, whatever they want to use. Do their own version of that. As far as, like I said, the insurance benefit, it was always paid exactly the same rate came from that, but I wanted as far as clearing the air on that one point. Thank you.
Mr. Dickens.
I have been asked this. I'm refusing the health care benefits because I feel like as elected officials, we're only part-time workers. It's not a full-time job for us. Part-time to the people who refuse the, if elected, if you guys elect me, I'm going to refuse the health care benefits.
Okay. Mr. Killingsworth.
Part-time, I love that word. I can tell you, I can tell you that from a benefits perspective, it creates a sense of entitlement, in my opinion, if you take that benefit away from someone that comes into this office to serve you and needs it. I can tell you that I don't take it. I'm retired military. I don't use it. You get extra little benefits. I needed the dental because I didn't have it as an independent contractor. But I can tell you that if we didn't have it for one particular councilman a couple of years ago, he'd have been in trouble. And a lot of these numbers that have been thrown around were because of the benefits for him. And I can tell you, if he serves me, I want to take care of him. I want to take care of his family. As long as they're here. They don't get to take it with them. From a pension perspective, if you want to take away a pension, that's just fine. But benefits, if they're going to serve you, take care of them and their family. That's my 2 cents.
Ms. Daniels.
I believe that I'm not taking the medical or the pension. I believe that money is better served with the citizens. And I also believe that how can you empower a workforce by having pensions and benefits that you don't even give to them? I think it's a drain on morale, and I think that your workers feel dislocated and disjointed with you. So I do unto others as I would have them do unto me. I'm not taking the pension. I'm not taking the benefits. I'm giving it back to the city.
Okay. Mr. Creason?
I do not believe that elected officials, part-time as it would be, deserve or should be offered pension. To be your elected official, that we're volunteering. We're volunteering to you. So, it's a part-time job. We shouldn't have them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitmer?
I see this position as community service, and as such, I would vote to eliminate both the pension and the insurance.
Mr. Eaton?
Well, without sounding like a broken record, the whole idea of a volunteer being compensated for pensions and for health insurance, I don't believe it's right. I think those are monies, I happen to agree with everybody else up here, with the exception of Tim, but I happen to agree that we really need to put those monies to use for our employees and let it go at that.
We're going to kind of wrap things up here. I'm blowing our time limit that I was given, but as a way of a closing from all of you is that you love Kennesaw and you want to serve Kennesaw, and I also get the suspicion that you're not up here because you just want to continue the status quo. You each have an idea of some changes or a different direction for the city of Kennesaw. So starting with Mr. Dickens, just kind of summarize really kind of why you're running and what that direction is or the changes that you want to make to this city.
Okay, why I'm running, it's real simple. I'm running because I'm just like you. When you go and cast your vote, why should you vote for me? You should vote for me because I'm simply just like you. I want better schools. I want to keep our I want to keep protection. I love the volunteers. I love to see the people go downtown when we have the big shanty fest. I love all the things that Kennesaw has, the benefits. I'm just like you when I say I have to get up in the morning and go to work and I have to worry about paycheck from one thing to the next thing. I'm just like you when I say that I think about how Kennesaw is going to look in the future. Are we going to take all the values that we have in Kennesaw away? I'm just like you. When you go cast your ballot, please think. When you think of Jimmy, think of yourselves, because I am just like you.
Let's go down here to Mr. Killingsworth, and we'll work our way down.
Experience. That's the word that I have for you. I've been here 8 years. I want to continue. We've got a very crucial time coming up here in the city of Kennesaw. Corridor about to explode. The Braves are coming to town, if you didn't know that. They're right down the road at Cumberland. We've got a little, depending on who you talk to. It's exploding. They're moving here. They're working and playing here. They're shopping here. On top of that, we got Lake Point up in Emerson, which is becoming one of the largest facilities in the South. And they're generating more and more and more. The 75 corridor is about to explode. You need somebody with some experience that has those relationships, that will be able to pick up the phone, assist the city council to be able to reach out to them. Most of you know me. Like I said, you can pick up the phone and call me. I'm there for you. Please re-elect me. Thank you.
Ms. Daniel.
If every candidate up here stands for economic development, and public safety and better schools, then I ask you, what makes the difference in us? It's our perspective. It's the way we go about things. It's our mindset. It's our diversity. It's what we bring to the table. And telling you, you have a choice. You have a choice to choose spending. You have a choice to choose for ending pensions. You have a choice to choose for ethical policies and procedures. In Post 2, those are your choices. We're very pronounced. We're very diverse. You have a choice for your leadership in Post 2. I'm the only one running against the incumbent. So you've known the past history and you know the vote. I am trying to bring together and empower this community with inclusion for everyone, and that's what I bring to the table. I want to tell you all, I am willing to stand and work with the council members and the incoming mayor, whoever that might be, because that's what we need. We need people to work together. We need to handle I like to call these the little house chores, or all the issues that were discussed now, to get on with that's taking care of the taxpayers, and that's bringing businesses in, and that's taking care of our families.
After 32 years serving in the military, I got out and decided I wanted to serve my community in a different role. I'm a doer, I'm a fixer, I fix things. It's what they teach us to do in the military. To see an object, to see an item, see something that's not the way it should be. Kennesaw has a lot of wonderful attributes, but there are some things that need to be fixed. I see them, I recognize them, I want to be part of fixing them. Thank you.
Mr. Whitmer.
My last was stormwater manager for the city of Kennesaw, which I just finished up 4 years as of when I retired last December. So I have a working relationship with many in the city. I know a lot of how things work and what does work and some things that don't work. So I think I have a unique experience to bring to the position, be able to hit the road, the job running. I am very analytic because I'm an engineer, so I always set out my alternatives and start knocking them off one at a time. And so I see myself also as a problem solver, and really get into that. The website is johncwhitmer.com. And it outlines much more of what I am on that site. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eaton.
Well, it looks like we're wrapping things up. You all have known that I've been in this community for a long, long time. But before I go any further, I want to say, Ross, thank you for being here tonight. We really do appreciate it. Thank you, KBA, for putting this forum together and for allowing us to be able to speak to the people who can make a difference in this election. I have one final statement, and it's going to be short and sweet and simple. I have seen where we were, and I think I'm the one in Post 1 to get us where we want to go. Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins.
Well, basically, experience. This is a 2-year term, which means we have to hit the ground running to make those 2 years count. I want to work for you, resident and business owner. I want to represent you on this council. I want to strive to grow our community in the right way, in our hometown way. I want to work with you and help Kennesaw grow in the hometown feel, as well as in our businesses with Kennesaw State, as well as our work with the county. I've had relationships with them for the last 8 to 10 years and working with the libraries, so I want to bring that to our city again. Thank you.
Thank you. Man, it seemed like they barely got to answer some of these questions, but that's the time we have allotted for tonight. Hopefully I have some time to mingle with some of the candidates here coming up. The mayoral candidates are coming up next. Please, only 2 of them, so that means more questions, so I could use some if you've got some. We can pass along some index cards, gentleman right in the back there. If you have any questions for the mayoral candidates coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your candidates for city council. Please talk to them, know who they are. It is important. The time is 7:25. 7:35 with a 10-minute intercession. If you see Greg Carter, we have plenty of note cards.
Good job.
See you in 10 minutes. Hey, how are you?
So hard with a lot of them, you can't.
Check.